What's up, Glendora? Welcome back to HardCopy.
I'm your host and anchor, Ireland Cash.
And I'm your other host and anchor, Ethan Auten.
Today we have some interesting stories to discuss, one of them being the government shutting down for 3 days.
And then we have a story on Trump's opinions on DACA, which I bet most of you won't know about, but that's why we're here.
Let's talk about the government shutdown that happened this weekend. But first, let's talk about what happens when the government shuts down.
And no, this does not mean you could tell your teacher that you're cutting class because the government shut down and so you don't have to go to school.
And if you're trying to get a passport or visa during the government shutdown, it might be put on delay. This was caused by a spending bill, and Trump had to sign the bill before January 19th at midnight. But he didn't sign it on time, and when there's no signature or agreement, what's going to happen on that spending bill? The government shuts down until the bill is actually signed.
And now to Roundtable, where we talk about DACA with our producers. Support the parents and separate a family instead of keeping a family together. So, personally, I really don't have a view on the subject that I'd like to.
What I've noticed people say is that most of these kids don't really know they're illegal until they grow up and try to apply to college and like, okay, where's my SS number? And I don't have one. That's what I've noticed, that most of the adults, like, they don't know about that. So one of the problems I've noticed that these kids grow up not knowing they're not here illegally, and like they only speak English.
That'd be very fair, and I think that might have been like a way to solve the problem personally.
And to live as an American citizen, and they're not, totally evading the rules or committing crimes, things that are quote unquote un-American, then, they should get the chance that you mentioned. I think that would be fair for them.
So like the non-criminal ones for like murders and stuff, I don't know about them, but illegal and they're just here in the United States, I think those people should be given the opportunity to apply for U.S. citizenship while being in the U.S. still, so it doesn't separate families, but it allows like a way for people to apply citizenship.
But what about their parents? Are you in agreement, please?
Elaborating it? Well,
here, let me bring in another fact to the table. What we've noticed is that according to Fox News, a very conservative source, as we all know.
Fox News.
Yeah, exactly.
They have great personality.
They have great personality, apparently. They state there is no evidence, even going to the point where the all caps, no evidence that DACA eligible individuals are more likely to commit crimes. So even Fox News kind of agrees with that. Do you guys
And that's like my viewpoint on it. But speaking about rights and stuff, what were you guys' thoughts?
I want to start this off because I have nothing. I think the Women's March was actually a good thing, especially for a lot of people. But the thing that I thought was actually really dumb about it was just having really inappropriate posters around on the air. I guess the P word, power. I guess that's the least kind of thing.
Classy.
I don't know.
Why do you have a banana?
I think that
Connect the dots. I'm not too in with what's happening around that kind of thing, but I didn't know in any way that. I don't know.
Well, actually, not all of them were. They said that some of them, it was one of the reasons why they were there, but most of them are protesting for equal rights.
Right.
According to New York Times, they reported a crowd of over 160,000 attendees at 50-50 or on,
I don't know that much about the women's right. The only thing I knew about the women's right was about there was a march on Saturday on the 21st. So that's the only thing I knew about.
A friend participated, but I don't know what happened.
Well, what's the thing that they're marching about?
Marching about, including like pro-DACA people, they're pro-immigration, pro-women's rights, anti-Trump, like many political.
Pro-Trump, anti-Trump.
Even pro-Trump too.
Yeah.
It's a diverse group of people.
Yeah, it wasn't organized at all. They were marching.
I just really want to see all the women pro-Trump and anti-Trump just standing right in front of each other
That's kind of not the point. The point of it was to come together as one.
Exactly.
I know.
And march for all rights and respect everyone's views, even though the sign anti-certain, they wanted to get what they think across, while at the same time not really demeaning others. But I think in that point of view, they were trying to make it so it was everyone could get together, right, and march for rights. I think it kind of differed from that.
We need coffee.
Yeah.
I need hot chocolate.
Bring it to the table.
Well, but someone once told me that a march or...
Sorry, go ahead.
Don't bring that meme here.
Let's keep memes off the table, please.
I gotta go.
Laughing.
I gotta go.
Okay, but someone once told me that. Stop! Why'd you have to laugh?
Just go.
So I heard from someone that a mob or a march does not have a brain, so it does not really lead to anything. and one. It's not like all like. What's the word I'm trying to think of?
Or does it have collective
Union.
brands?
It's not like a union
It's
ship.
not unionized?
Yeah.
So it's not a collective.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
collective.
Let's move on to the government shutdown. What do you guys think?
Ah,
about
that's the one I researched well,
the government shutdown,
Jeez.
guys.
and it all comes to me. Well, okay. So from what I understand, don't even go there. Okay. So yes, I did. Part of the research was watching an excerpt from his nightly show.
The Daily Show?
Sorry, I had like 50-50. Nailed it.
Copyright Daily Show.
Okay,
There's
so
also afternoon show.
essentially, I found out that when the government can't fund itself anymore, or certain aspects of it, the shutdown part comes from where like the funding gets taken out. Like people who are like military personnel who are currently on duty, payment is out the window. They're just essentially doing it because they're already there and they want to serve the country. But there's no, just as one example, they're not getting their share. I guess they're not getting paid. The income's not there.
Yeah, so expanding on what Ireland said, they're not getting paid, like she said. So a lot of them just don't show up, if I'm correct, and it causes well, a lot of people don't show up to the actual official office, if I'm right about that. I think that's right.
Well, Ireland was saying that the only people who weren't getting paid were the military. And
It's
military,
not just them.
Yeah, there was more than
More
just
than
the
just the military?
military.
That's
Yeah,
just one example.
that's why I
the
said.
furloughed? Oh, okay.
Yeah, people in office, I believe, some of them were not getting paid either. Because I think I read somewhere something about it being, as in, like, a lot of the federal government, like, certain people were, like, not getting paid anymore because of the funding, like Ireland said. So, like, certain areas were, like, shut down. It wasn't just the military, it was other offices also.
So who do you think is responsible for the shutdown in the end? I believe it's both sides.
Well, for one thing, we had the bill that was supposed to be the spending bill that was supposed to be signed. Trump didn't sign that on time, so when there was no agreement, it just got shut down. So part of me thinks that it is his fault, but it's also for everyone's opinion and what they thought it was his fault. I think that the bill could have been signed earlier, and none of it would have been messed up. Nothing would have happened. It would have just been passing. Everything would have just carried on.
Okay, so personally, I believe that it was definitely like both sides' fault, but I think we need to stop focusing on like the sides aspect, and we need to start like becoming a union again, like coming together and being because I think if both parties came together, we'd be like 5 times stronger in that aspect. I know people have their views, but I think some people have to, like, we need to compromise.
Well, going up. Okay, so let me go back and forth here. Cristian said that it was Trump's signature. It was not just Trump's signature. It was the Democrats who didn't want to sign because they weren't getting DACA in it. So that's going back to the first topic we talked about, DACA. Which, I mean, I kind of think it's a noble cause, but at the same time, maybe they took it a little bit too far by shutting down the government. Which, I mean, it's kind of cool for the dreamers. So, like, okay, the government shut down because of me, because of people fighting for my rights. But at the same time, maybe this could have been solved without having shut down the government.
So what are they getting out of it?
Who?
You said the dreamers. I've heard the term used.
Dreamers are the DACA people or DACA recipients.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I didn't know that. So that means, well, what are they holding from them? What are they holding them back from?
They're not.
Exactly.
They're shutting down. They're taking down DACA.
Oh.
Yes, that's kind of the big deal that
Okay.
DACA got repealed, so they were fighting for
Oh,
it, and
I
Democrats
see.
wanted to keep DACA on the table.
Oh, okay. I'm a little out of it.
Yeah, so yeah, that's like the main argument I think it was about DACA. I think that's caused a lot of issues lately coming up because there was news about DACA and there was drama like separate to DACA, but now it's expanding to other things, and I think that we should just concentrate on one problem at a time instead of like thinking of all these different ones. And I think we should solve DACA like as soon as possible and be able to like come to some sort of compromise in order to like restore balance in a way, if that makes any sense. Because like since the news about DACA has happened, other things have been getting affected. Like for example, the when they tried to pass the what is it called again? The bill for the what is it, Chris? You said it before. Yeah, the spending bill. Yeah, because if DACA was able to. And this has been HardCopy. Thanks for watching.